Most people think that AI is coming for their jobs. That's not what is happening. What AI just exposed is who is promotable and who isn't. The ceiling didn't move. It just became visible. For a long time, career progression followed a very familiar path. You worked hard, you got good, you became reliable. And eventually, over the years, excellence turned into advancement. That model, it worked not because it was perfect, but because it was slow enough to hide the gaps. Here's what I mean. It used to take weeks to evaluate architecture options, days to write a technical spec, hours to debug a production issue. So the people who could do these things well became valuable. The timeline gave you room to prove your value through execution. Here's what has changed. AI collapsed that timeline. Now, the architecture evaluation takes 30 seconds. The specs takes 5 minutes. That prototype, it takes an afternoon. And suddenly, the question isn't who can do this well. It's who can decide what's worth doing in the first place. Here's the mistake people are making. They think AI is replacing jobs. What AI is replacing is differentiation through execution. Think about it. When a tool can draft the analysis, generate the options, summarize risks, build fancy decks, doing those things well no longer signals seniority. It signals baseline competence. And here's what makes this brutal. Those might be the exact things you've spent a decade mastering. The skills that got you promoted from junior to mid-level, perhaps to senior. The expertise that made you valuable, the craft that you take pride in. AI didn't make those skills worthless, but it did make them expected instead of exceptional. And when everyone can execute at 80% quality in 10% of the time, your 100% quality doesn't stand out anymore. This is the ceiling AI made obvious. If your value was, I do the work better than most people, you are climbing a ladder with a hidden top. Not because you weren't valuable, but because excellence was only ever the entry ticket. The real promotion threshold was always different. Let me show you what I mean. Two senior engineers are in a planning meeting. Engineer A, he waits for the problem to be defined, and then he responds, I can build that. Give me 2 weeks. Now, Engineer B, on the other hand, she asks, before we commit to building this, what exactly are we trying to solve? Because if the goal is to reduce churn, there's a faster way that doesn't require new infrastructure. Both engineers are excellent, but only one is shaping what gets built. Here's what just changed. Before AI, Engineer A, he still got promoted, eventually, because executing well over time led to opportunities to shape direction. After AI, Engineer's A execution is invisible. Everyone can build it in 2 weeks. Engineer B's ability to reframe the problem before the work starts, that is the ceiling AI is making invisible. This is why so many capable professionals are feeling unsettled right now. They didn't fail. They didn't stagnate. They didn't miss a skill. They followed the rules that worked until the system is now revealing that it has new ones. And that has created a quiet identity shock. If excellence is not enough anymore, what actually is? Here's what to notice. The next time you're in a meeting and say AI comes up, pay attention to who gets asked for their opinion. It's usually not the person who can execute the fastest. It's the person who can explain why the output matters, or whether it should be built at all. That is the new differentiator. Here is the reframe you need. AI didn't make your experience obsolete. It re-baselined your experience. Execution is cheaper. Speed is assumed. Accuracy, that's expected. What is scarce at the moment is judgment, interpretation, meaning making. So in other words, the ability to help the room understand what the work means and where it should go next. Earlier this week, I talked about why being excellent at your job stops working. This is the mechanism. AI just made the ceiling visible. So, if AI revealed something for you, let it be this. You didn't hit a ceiling because you stopped growing. You hit it because the game you were winning was never the game that led to the top. And now that you can see the ceiling, you have a choice. Keep optimizing for the game that ended, or start learning the one that actually matters. I'm Ola, and I help senior technical professionals build influence in an environment where the old rules don't work anymore. Subscribe. I'm breaking down exactly how to do that in the videos ahead.